What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So Scorpio, big shocker, switching things up just like a little bit. So I figured after that planetary spread that we just did, I figured that one's just going to be the monthly one for this channel, and then the rest of these readings are just going to be weekly ones, unless, I do just some kind of like random birthday thing or, something special. So yeah, this spread is going to be a weekly one, so whenever you happen to come across this, Scorpio, this could resonate with you. So just something to be mindful of. And also, these readings that I do, these are general readings, not one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So Scorpio, with this spread, we're just going with the flow. And just so you know, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then lastly, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for all of them down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested there, Scorpio. Oi, and this is so let's get into your reading here, Scorpio, because you got 5 of Capricorn here, which is the Dear John card. And with the Dear John, this is a card of rejection, cold hard truth, breaking up, set boundaries, divorce, strained situation. It's not you, it's me. The end, final word, cutting cords, something's not working. So Scorpio, let's just talk about this. Let's work up the levels. So if we're just like maybe starting off a relationship, because this definitely gives me relationships vibes, but if we just gotten in with something, we're noticing that like something doesn't feel right, it's not you, it's me type of situation here. Something feels a little strained. Then, I feel like trust your intuition, but even bigger than that, Scorpio, that's just on a base level. But if this is more serious, let's say if we've been in like a long-term relationship for a while, and maybe we're noticing that the situation is becoming strange, long-term, this could be like just someone you may just happen to be with for a long time, or maybe we've gotten married to someone, and maybe we're either way, we're getting to a crossroads here where we're either, it's like, do we keep this thing going? Do we need to set new boundaries? Are we calling it quits? And Scorpio, I feel like that this is going to be, depending on how this situation is looking, this is a discussion that however, the two parties need to have and get this thing figured out. Because where I get breaking up and divorcing and separation, like that's a tough situation, absolutely, Scorpio. But what's I feel like even a little bit tougher, especially if we notice that it's not like, no matter what we do, it doesn't, like however much work we put in, Capricorn, it doesn't seem to yield. After a while, it gets to a point where if we ignore this stuff and try to power through, and it's not to say that it won't work out, if we put in the work, but if we keep it, if we ignore the cold hard truth and we keep, we choose to keeping on, and we're not noticing a change, or things still are feeling off, listen, been there, especially if this is something where you feel like that you have to be the initiator of something, Scorpio. I find that it's more so the moment leading up to the actual situation that I feel is the worst part than when you actually get this, like, call it for what it is, wrap things up, this is the end. So let's get a little bit more on this before we or get a little bit more on this story here, Scorpio. Because this could be something too, if it's not like a romantic relationship. Maybe this is something where we've gotten in a fight with a friend, maybe a family member, or maybe even like a business partner. But Yeah, let's get a little bit more on this situation. Okay. Interesting. So starting off here, we got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse here, Scorpio. And really, that's really kind of doubling down on this. If things aren't feeling right, if this has gotten you to a place where it feels like you're affecting, like long term, it just like, it doesn't seem to make sense, no matter how maybe each of you pour into this situation, maybe things aren't working. I mean, it's tough, but it's one of those things I feel like once you get through this process, it's going to make you feel a lot better in the long run. But this could be something where maybe some of us might be, if we're feeling a little nervous about, or kind of, I don't want to say stalling, but maybe kind of dragging this out, or dragging your feet on maybe making this decision, because maybe some of us have like maybe some assets tied up in this. Maybe we went down on a house together. Maybe we have, well, I don't know, will stuff, or maybe there are children involved, whatever that's looking like. Again, it's, don't let like what we might consider like inconveniences keep you in a weird situation, or keep you where just things aren't working, where you're putting yourself at an unfavorable situation for the both of you. It really is. It's not like, because if you know what I'm getting at, Scorpio. We can work this stuff out here. And see, and the thing is, Scorpio, okay, a little bit about me, Scorpio, because I'm just, higher self is just like, go on. So, I just, not too long ago, as a matter of fact, went through a divorce. And where, granted, I didn't have things as far as like assets and kids, as far as like tied up in that sort of realm. But I bring that up to say that it was an easier process than I thought it was going to be. I don't feel like that even if we have things tied up, endings, divorces, separation, I don't know where this stigma, even however the situation has gone down, I don't know how this is looking, but I don't feel like that those breakups and things, they don't need to be nasty, because granted, the person, we still talk, but it was cordial, I remember even the clerk was just like, wait a minute, you two were the ones that were married? Like, I wish all divorced people kind of did, or people going through this would do this stuff, because it doesn't have to be a big taxing process, Scorpio. Believe me, make it easier for yourselves, because the legal system, they're going to complicate it plenty enough for you. So try to keep it as harmonious as possible, because it really will just work out for your benefit, believe me. But yeah, I feel like, try not to because even if this is like a business with like a partner or something along those lines, try not to let's not let it, even if we got to cut ties with the business partner, we got stuff with money, don't let that keep you where you feel like where you can't be confident in this, or like you can't take action, with this Knight of Wands. But I also feel like with this thing too, Scorpio, when we're going through these breakups, just make sure, just because the Knight of Wands, he can kind of rush through things, just make sure that we're doing this properly. I get where we want to get out of this situation, but just make sure we're not like cutting any corners, or trying to put any kind of pressures or anything along those lines. I feel like let the things just naturally progress as they will, because I'll tell you what, it really is, when you get if you got married, you thought getting married was something, try getting divorced. I bet you then people might think twice about it. But and listen, there's nothing, listen, I'm all for marriage. Marriage is beautiful, but it's just something that we just want to be mindful of be mindful of the intention. And if things aren't working out, it's fine. It's not a failure, it's a lesson. Because here's the thing too, when we think about breakups, this gives you a chance to not only reflect on what you loved about the person, because once upon a time, and I hopefully still, there's still a little bit of love for this person. And even after the breakup, if you happen to think about this person and stuff, we don't have to be feel any kind of way. We send them love and light and then let that go, Scorpio. But it also shows you, not just what you liked and loved about the person, but it shows you, some things that you aren't willing to compromise on, that are big deals for you. And Scorpio, it's a two-way street, in these relationships. It gives you a chance to just reflect on your behavior. What ways did you bring it, and what are some ways that you could have improved, Everyone can win out of this. Everyone can get 10 of Pentacles out of this. These resources and stuff, it's more than that. When we're thinking going through this process here, the Pentacles it's the finances, it's the material things, it's our health, it's our resources, it's how we manifest. So we can keep this thing civil, Scorpio. More. Whoa, interesting. I might want to get a clarifier on that, Scorpio. But you got the Lovers popping up here with this Dear John card, and then we got the Eight of Wands in reverse. And you know what? I feel that with this combination popping up here, Scorpio, I feel that this is saying that when you're going through this thing, not that there isn't, if we happen to come up, because love is interesting like that, if we happen to decide to make this step, who knows, maybe someone else might come into the mix while you're out, just who knows. But I will just say, just being mindful during this time, take this moment to connect with you and to really, really just get back in touch with who you are. I feel like before we rush into a new connection, if that makes sense. Because with the Lovers, this to me is like your higher self kind of winking at you and just trying to get your attention. And especially when we've gone through like a separation here, we've been so wrapped up in this person and with the things we can get, it's good practice, I feel, to just like make sure in these situations just to find who you are again, because especially if this was like a long-term thing, you're starting fresh, and it's like, how do we operate outside, as an individual again? What does that look like? And get back in that routine and get back in that connection with yourself, because I feel like that's, this can be where, sure, a void is opening up maybe with this separation here, but you can fill that void, Scorpio. You can pour with love for you, do maybe some meditation, maybe go on like a sabbatical, maybe go like a camping trip, or maybe go however this looks. But just taking some time and, just even kind of seeing like how this Knight of Wands, Eight of Wands are kind of popping up here, because these are normally very fast moving cards. Take this time and just be present in this situation here, because this can you can really learn a lot from these situations, Scorpio. And it shows too, when you do make this decision, if things tend to not work out, and if you're the initiator, it just shows how much strength you have, and because it's tough to say like, hey, I think we need to call it. But there's power in that, because it's just like now we've taken control over things again. We've listened to our intuition, and we're working on getting balance again, Scorpio. And in this thing, just communicate. And I feel like keeping a kind communication with this it just makes things a lot easier. Mark? All right, Scorpio. Starting off a little serious, that's all right. Let's get some tea. Something's going around. There's love in the air right now, Scorpio. It's all over the place, but hey, it's fine. Mars is in Cancer, all this Aries energy. Let's get some more oracles. Venus in Taurus. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Love it. You got the eighth. You got a 8 of Aries here, which is a shooting star. Shooting star. Check you out, Scorpio. Look at you coming out of this thing all beautiful. Because you got with the shooting star card. This is a card of quick action, wish granted, rare, falling, moment in time, luck, dynamic, incandescent, dazzled, sudden, short-lived, passionate, passing through, enterprising, and brilliant. You know, Scorpio, I feel like with this card popping up, that's exactly what I feel like higher self is wanting you to kind of work on. You know, getting yourself, especially if any of this is like resonating with you, just getting you back to the place where you're feeling bright again, where you're feeling your incandescent self, you know, where you're feeling just like in your confidence and, you know, really working on you. You know what? Just with this wish granted, you know, I feel like it's like where do you wish things would improve, or like, how do I want to put this? I almost feel like this wish granted is like higher self kind of like asking you, like, what does next look like? You know, now that this space has been made, what do you wish we can work on? You know, what is it maybe that we can focus on now that maybe we couldn't maybe in the relationship? Do something nice for yourself, you know? And then I feel that if we do, Scorpio, just thinking with this quick action and all this quick energy down here, who knows, maybe some other new opportunity, you know, as far as like, however this may look, a new form of abundance may come in, maybe a new work opportunity may come up, maybe a new love opportunity may come up. However, there may be an opportunity for travel even possibly, you know, just who knows, Scorpio. But I do feel that if we take this time and be intentional with where you want to go next, this can be, you can turn, you know, a Dear John situation into something, you know, who knows, dear higher self. You know, now I'm not sure, Scorpio, you know, work with me here. Let's get some cards on this and let's see, so I can get a little bit more on this story. But I will say, just kind of looking at that short-lived, this situation, I feel like it'll be short-lived. And I mean, maybe not as short as we would like, but these are fleeting moments that happen down here. These are experiences that aren't meant to keep us down, Scorpio. They're there to strengthen us and to, again, make us the shooting stars that we are. Absolutely. It's time to get out of this nightmare, Scorpio. Time to do some healing with this 9 of Swords popping up in reverse. And try not to get caught up in your head in this situation, because we can start thinking about separations. Well, it's like, well, we start getting on the what ifs, and then, you know, if things start getting hard at first, as far as like, you know, you know, because the times, you know, I feel like the energies are still kind of getting a little settled in. And honestly, with all the love that's going around, maybe we may start second guessing ourselves and, you know, all this doubt and things. But Scorpio, I feel like just, you know, get out of your head at this time, you know, really, really evaluate when those thoughts come up, because listen, those are natural. You know, if they do come up, again, acknowledge them for what they are, because it's like, it's just because we're adjusting. We're in a new period right now, and again, send that situation love and light and let it go, and it'll get a lot easier every cycle, Scorpio. At each moment it gets better and better and better and better and better, until you, next thing you know, you're back to just being, again, just that brilliant Scorpion that you are. More. Let's see what else. Queen of Wands, back to your brilliant, incandescent, enterprising self here, Scorpio. That's what I'm talking about, because this is one of Aries cards. And this is what happens when I feel like, put in this work for you, Scorpio, and really focusing on getting getting your thoughts in order, getting everything just back balanced again. You're going to feel confident, feel beautiful, feel bold, feel inspired to, who knows, Scorpio, to go to just new obstacles, or like, I just I really feel like that this could be a really good time for just some good self-care, and just really getting back into that, where you feel, how do I want to put that, where you're just feeling bold and confident and feeling like you can tackle life again, and just like, and really like, having that like lust for life, that seize the day type of mentality. Because that's when Queen of Wands, I mean, girl brings it. And Scorpio, I feel like maybe something to do, just when I just kind of looking at her sunflowers and just kind of thinking about what Queen of Wands, like Aries energy, very much like bringing in the spring. And maybe this is something, maybe getting out amongst some, like, again, like maybe in some nature, being amongst flowers, maybe doing some gardening, or just doing maybe any sort of like creative endeavor, maybe in your downtime, to just get you, I don't know, just get you to this place of just feeling just where you can manifest again, and feeling at your most confident. Right? Okay. Let's see what else we got here, Scorpio. Nice. You got the moon card here. And I feel like with the moon popping up, this is a time to, when I was talking about the doubts, because sometimes after we make these decisions, at first, we once we make that step, it's like, I don't know, when we feel that, like, that freedom and we finally made that move, it's just like you start seeing the flowers again. All the colors are vivid, the smells are just more poignant, just everything is just so lush. But then, maybe after that initial kind of phase, then, like, when life kind of settles back in again a little bit, we can maybe get in those doubts. We think about, maybe we happen to see a post on Facebook or Instagram, and oh, such and such is like, oh, they're kind of looking good. Like, oh, maybe they've learned, maybe they've grown in this little bit of time. Let's see what's going on. The moon, listen, Scorpio, that whole scenario, the moon is just to be mindful of illusions, and to be mindful of the lies that we may tell ourselves, the deceptions, So just be, when you're going through this healing process, when you've made this decision, and again, that's not to say, like, because I won't say that you won't ever get back with this person again, or that there's not that possibility, but the moon asks us to look forward and to keep moving forward. Tarot, really just ask us to look forward. And if people happen to vibe on our, get back to the same vibration again, higher self will work that all out. But I feel like if we focus on that energy and drawing that in, then you kind of get what I'm saying, Scorpio. I just feel like really keeping focus at this time, because that's the journeying. Because when we make these decisions, I feel like sometimes we can get nervous about journeying into the unknown, but that's what the moon card is. It's taking that, it's realizing that behind all this darkness, this uncertainty, the sun is the next card that's coming through. And realize that you just, like, this healing process, however fresh the situation may be, it's going to look differently for everyone. You may feel like you're super confident one day, and then the next day you're feeling like Knight of Wands again. It's just like, what happened? But that's just the ebb and flow sometimes, Scorpio. And that's going to regulate, with time and with healing. But it's just, we got to keep that momentum going. But I will say, Scorpio, like I was saying, you can go back. The nights, like tarot, and tarot can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to do. Your mama, your daddy, whomever. But if we do decide to go back, Scorpio, that's totally fine. But just be mindful of, I feel like the moon does tell you, here, whatever choice you make, be okay with whatever options come along with that. Okay. We made a wish here, Scorpio. So let's follow through on that. More. Absolutely. More. Last little bit here, Scorpio. Two of Wands. You know, this is more Aries energy. And really one of Aries' hottest, their hottest minor arcana card. This is Mars in Aries. And you know, Mars is dignified in Aries. It rules Aries. So this is a card really of picking what you want to do and taking action. Seeing these, you see these two wands here? Do you want to stay where you're at? Stay with what's comfortable, with what's familiar. And again, this is, you know, Scorpio, this is a judgment-free zone. It's totally fine. But it's just like making the decision and figuring out what that means. What do you want your world to look like? This figure here has the world in the palm of their hands. Higher self has given them a wish, because that's the thing, Scorpio. Higher self, where yes, wants your higher self, God, Buddha, Jesus, whomever, has your best interest at heart, but you also have free will, Scorpio, and higher self is going to give you options. It's just like, hey, this is the path that I like, you know, I cleared out this path for you here, but if that's not your jam, we can, you know, you got this old one that we tried it, and I'll figure something out. But this is a decision, and what do you want to do, Scorpio? You know, this is balls in your court here, and that ball's the world. So what do you want your world to look like? And then just be okay with that, and learn from this. That's really all higher self can want at the end. So let's get some more oracles on this, Scorpio. Actually, hold up, let me get a okay. Okay. Dope. Interesting. Okay. So we got the 4 Capricorn here, which is the roadblock. And the roadblock is a card of blocked change, barriers, challenges, time to regroup, stuck, paralyzed, obstacles, stalling, temporary setback, take a detour, not right now, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So that's probably where you feel like at Scorpio. Maybe some of us, if we're stuck at the making the decision to make a move, or if we're stuck at the do I okay, we've had this little bit of time, do I go back, do I keep moving forward? This is that precipice here. You know, this is like, do we get frustrated by the roadblocks and the challenges? Because listen, Scorpio, if you've made this decision to move on, of course the energies have to readjust. There are going to maybe be some roadblocks, some challenges, some things that come through. This is your time to regroup right now. But again, if we feel that maybe the roadblocks are too hard, you know, higher self, I feel like, doesn't put any challenges in front of us that we can't handle, Scorpio. And Queen of Wands, especially when whatever roadblocks get in her way, she's not going to stop. She's the type that, especially when it's conducive to her growth, she's going to, if we got to pause to kind of figure it out, but she's creative like that. She likes to think. She can think on the fly, you know, real what's the word I'm looking for? Very, ad lib, or I had a better word than that, but you know what I'm trying to say. She can figure these situations out, and if she can't figure them out like immediately, that doesn't mean that there's no solutions. You know, sometimes Queen of Wands can be a little aggressive in how she moves. You know, she may try to rush things. So if we're noticing something and we're starting to feel frustrated, pause for a second. You know, maybe pull that heat back and see how we can redirect that. Really analyze the situation here, and see what's the best obstacle to go, or best route to take, so that we don't end up 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But let's get a little bit more on this, Scorpio. All right. So interesting. So we're starting off here, Scorpio. You got the Ace of Swords here, and then you got the 4 of Wands in reverse. And you know, this is, I feel like this really is kind of higher self, just sort of like, so funny. Higher self, and maybe not to you, Scorpio, but I feel like higher self is kind of like saying with this Ace of Swords, like, hey, I've given you all the information that you need about this situation as we can, you know? So if you're not liking this path that we're taking so far, I mean, what do you want to do with that? Do you want to keep trucking through? Because I feel like even with the Four of Wands popping up here, we may be having a hard time getting to the finish line, but I feel like the finish line is there, you know, getting to the end of this cycle. But you know, the thing with the Ace of Swords, it's a double-edged sword. So I just feel like just be mindful of which way we take, and to not feel any sort of way regardless. You know, I feel like don't put any kind of pressure on yourself as far as like what you think others should think you, or what others may think you should do, anything like that. What do you want to do with this, Scorpio? This is your energy. This is, you have all, you know, these are all the details that you need. So use this knowledge. How does this end game look like here? Do you know, are we trying it again? You know, or are we trying something different? Are we parting ways and then starting up a new chapter, filling this up here? Or yep, interesting. So Scorpio, so you got the King of Pentacles in reverse, and then we got the Star upright. And I really feel like with this Star popping up here, Scorpio, that really I really feel like focusing on your healing is going to be the biggest thing for you at this time. But let me get a little bit more on this. This King of Pentacles is popping up a little interesting here. Let's get a little bit more. Can we clarify that herself? Yeah, okay, more. Okay, any more? Okay, hold up, Scorpio. Let me get a little bit more on this King of Pentacles here. Okay, we got the Page of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and then the Six of Pentacles for this King of Pentacles. And this almost, to me, Scorpio, this almost feels like maybe if this feels like the person, possibly, you know, maybe this is something where they provided, like at one point maybe they provided stability, but just maybe something changed, you know, maybe the dynamics in the relationship shifted, you know, take that as it resonates. But I feel just with these energies popping up, just be mindful that if we choose to go back, and if this King of Pentacles can't deliver like you want to, or like you may be expecting, I feel like this is something where we can't be critical on this person, you know, with the Seven of Wands energy. You know, we got to figure out how much we're willing to give in this situation. So that's it. Just kind of with this energies, it doesn't feel harmonious, Scorpio. But again, I can't tell you what to do. No one can tell you what to do. This is just based off the energies that you're bringing here. So, you know, use the rest of the details that you have at your discretion. But any more? Let's switch back over here, Scorpio. Hold up. Because just if we decide to go, because it's not that I don't feel like maybe this King of Pentacles can't be stable. It's just like maybe this King, there might be some healing on their end that needs to be done too, you know? And I feel like just with the Page of Wands kind of popping up here, I feel like we may like the idea just because it's familiar, because it's just, we understand how it works in a sense. And maybe we're thinking that we can fix this, because the Star can be a card of unexpected help. Maybe you're thinking we can help this Pentacles or this relationship or whatever. But just also with the Seven of Wands, just make sure to protect your energy at this time, and just be aware, but just be okay with your decision, or not even be okay, just whatever, however this is looking, Scorpio. Just allow that to just be and see where it goes. And then however it goes, it's going to be a learning experience regardless, but, and again, this is not to me saying that it can't work out with this, King of Pentacles type maybe, but it's just, it seems like we got a lot to think about, Scorpio. So I'll go ahead and leave that there. But just, I feel like the biggest thing is there reciprocity with the Six of Coins. Let that be your kind of like your gauge in this situation. Okay. So yeah, I'll leave that there, and I hope that made sense. Because I'll tell you what, Scorpio, since excuse me, switching up things a little bit, the readings have just like, it's really kind of opened up, and it's really added a layer of complexity that I've been kind of digging here. So hopefully you like that too, Scorpio. Even though even with the maybe if any of this resonated with you, and if it did, Scorpio, give it a thumbs up. And I feel like the thumbs up are really just as an indicator to maybe other Scorpios, if they happen to see this, that like, they're not the only one who are weighing their options, and it's totally normal. That's the thing, just with where the energies are at right now, that we're kind of maybe thinking we want to be in a place of security, want to feel stable, want to feel loved, want to feel that everything's going to be okay in where the times are changing. But things will be, because and not to say that other people can't help, Scorpio, but you're Queen of Wands in this scenario. You're confident, you're bold, you're going to get this figured out. But, I get it. If whatever decision that we make, it's just be okay with that, all right? And show too, and okay, because I was getting back into your reading. But it also just shows, just that it happens sometimes. These little crossroads here, these little fork in the roads, it's all part of the journey, Scorpio, and there's growth that's going to be coming out of this, I feel like, for everyone. So, and share this, maybe if you're not going through this, but if we maybe know someone who's going through this stuff, maybe maybe share this with them. Don't hold out on them, Scorpio. Especially if you think it's something that'll help, share it with them, Scorpio. And then subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell button if you want notification when I release videos each week. And then as far as social media goes, I'm getting the rest of my social media stuff figured out. But I am on Insight Timer. It's been an app I've been working on, or been utilizing for years. It's not my app, but it's a meditation app. They have all types of good stuff here. Maybe something to get you through this time here. But I made a group on there called Zodiac, Raising the Vibration. And it's just a little space that I drop positive affirmations there daily, pretty much. Yeah, I've been pretty much on a roll there so far. So look at that. So you got if you need a little pick me up while you're going through this stuff, Scorpio, you got a whole treasure trove waiting over there for you. And as it grows, I want to maybe get it to the place where we're scheduling like group meditations and be just a fun old time. And it's a space too that if you come across any affirmations that you may think of, or come across any words of wisdom, enlightening messages, whatever, Scorpio, drop it in the group. Just any way that we can. It's almost like I'm building like a 10 of Pentacles for the Soul Tribe here. Just little pockets of positivity. I'm with it, Scorpio. Look at you. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placements, or this situation was kind of interesting, but maybe you're dealing with a Cancer, want to understand what's going down in our heads here, come on over to the Charity and Friends. My sun signs in Cancer, but on the Charity and Friends, I do videos Monday through Friday there. We absolutely talk about the moon like all the time. Talk about the moon, lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time there, Scorpio. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here. so I can get you out of here. Wow. And now you got a hot ticket to the Chariot and Friends, but we got the Queen of Cups in reverse here, and we're gonna do some reflecting on this. I like it. I like that. And then let's get your Oracle card. Absolutely. And we got the Touch card in reverse. And with this Touch card, let's start here. I feel like that this is really just taking a moment and, again, being present in this situation right now, and just really, how are you feeling right now? Because this seemed kind of tough, Scorpio. You know, if any of this resonated with you, and it can get you in a weird kind of headspace. You know, it's like, did I make the right choice? You know, it's a whole type of thing, but it's a beautiful thing, you know, because even in this situation here, the Queen of Cups, she reflects, even when she's in reverse and maybe not quite, you know, even in a little confusion, she's cherishing these situations here. She's being super present right now, because it's like, what lessons can we learn from here? You know, in what ways can I grow? In what ways did I bring it? And did I hit? And in what ways did I fall short? And that I can work on during the next lunar cycle, or whenever this next cycle she chooses to focus on this. But the Queen of Cups is like having that emotional understanding, and she's super intelligent emotionally and understanding her feelings, and gets the wisdom from that, and that's how she navigates in the present, you know, reflecting on, because Cancerians were rooted, since we're, you know, live in the 4th house, we're tied to ancestry and living in the past, and, you know, moon too. But all that to say, Scorpio, also thinking about that energy, Cancerians, I mean, we live in just like constant cycles, and that's all you're going through right now, Scorpio. This is just a cycle, and it's going to end, and then who knows what brilliant new beginnings may come in for you. Who knows what new King of Pentacles might come in for you. But in this time, just keep feeling confident. Stay connected to higher self, trust that intuition, and let that guide you, and heal, Scorpio. Heal through this thing. Let's let everyone do just some really good, just rejuvenating work right now, okay? And I feel like that's going to get you feeling in a great place again. So, all right, I think I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. So, you stay safe out there. And, you know, if we're kind of in something right now, because I feel like I've been, I'm gonna need a team here, but I'm with it, you know, because I feel like the vibrations is in a, we're in a transitions phase right now. So if you need a little help raising that vibration, this is me helping you up, Scorpio. I got your back. If I can't be there physically, know I'm there spiritually for you. And I will catch you on the next one later.